I suppose this is going to be another video based on the topic of art, the art of art. I've just come out to do my exercises. Felt like making a video outside rather than inside for once. It's my father's birthday and he always loved the sea, so yeah, I'll be doing my exercises in a minute, but I guess this is my warm-up. So on the walk down here, which is part of the exercise, and the walk back, I was thinking over a few things, seeing how much I really did know and feel, and yeah, I knew and felt that there was a few things that I could mention that I didn't before. See, that's the thing, because your art grows with you. You grow with your art. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll have projects that you never finished because you lost your oomph for them, and then you'll forget all about them, move on, make other projects. One day you'll manoeuvre back to that original one and you'll carry on with it, and it'll be better than ever. If you'd carried on with that at the time, it probably would have been pretty shitty, because you wasn't who you was then, who you are now. You wasn't what you was then, what you are now, you see. So coming back to sculpting in particular, I've got a few notes here, things I was going through in my mind, my heart on the way down. I keep everything that I find, okay? As you guys know, if you've seen my previous three-parter, I work with rubber, plastic, metal, glass, and now organics. See, back then I wouldn't have touched, you know, stone, wood, or even leaves and flowers, twigs, you know, straw, things like that. But I do now. Yeah, I do now. So let yourself grow and let your art grow with yourself, you know. But yeah, I keep everything that I find just in case I need it later. The amount of times where I've seen something, picked it up, looked at it, and my initial response was that I can't use it. Yeah, but I should have listened to my initial gut instincts that was saying, yeah, but you might need it. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that's exactly what's happened a few times. I've needed it and I ain't had it. So I've gone back looking for the fucker. See what I'm saying? Save yourself the time and cut out the middleman. Okay? Everything has its use. I sound like a fucking psychopath there, but hopefully you'll see that it comes more from an empath state of mind, state of heart. It is okay for the novelty to wear off, okay, on a certain piece, a certain project. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? It happens to me every single time. I'll make a new sculpture, and when I consider it to be done or done enough, because there's been many where I was like, yep, that's it, bang. And then later down the line I've gone, hang on, no, there's something missing there. See what I mean? Because you're in a different place than the one you was before. There's even sculptures where I've taken things off of them. Yeah? I've minused things rather than plussed them. That just don't feel right. You know? That's got to go. You see? But yeah, it's alright for the novelty to wear off. Think of it like this, if the novelty did not wear off on your newest creation, then you wouldn't have that yearning, and you wouldn't have that gurning for the next one. Yeah, it's hard to feed yourself when you're already fed. So yeah, after a few days, depending on how happy I am with the result, after a few days the newest, freshest piece that I feel I've completed, the novelty does wear off a bit, and I look at it again and it's not quite as fascinating as it was before. And when that happens, guess what? I want to make another. See? You add more to your portfolio. I'm not just on about your portfolio, what you can show people. I'm on about your portfolio, yeah? Because your art is a part of you. It's a projection of your personality. No? So, yeah, it's a projection of your soul. You have to remember, the soul is asexual. It's male and female, and it's neither male or female. So it's important for that to come through in your work, I believe, especially if your work is in fact art, as we're on the subject of it. You know, try not to let your ego take over and say, well, this one looks a little bit too feminine for my liking, or maybe, oh, that one's a bit too much to prove. No, it is whatever you are. Do you understand? Which leads me on to my next point of interest, something that I hadn't mentioned before. I feel that okay, sometimes, and this isn't so much ego, this is more outlook perhaps, because you have to look inside and you have to look outside with your art. You see it in your pineal gland. Once it's there in your mind's eye, or at least this is how I do it, I have the blueprint, okay? Once I've got the blueprint, I can print it out of the blue. You know, sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes an hour. You know, it depends on what you're making, why you're making it, and who you're making it, not necessarily for, but because it should always be for yourself, but who you're making it for others to see, I suppose. And here's my point. So I've done it, you may have done it too. You ever worked on a new drawing or painting or sculpture or performance art or whatever it is that is your niche? Once you're done, you take a second look at it, take a second glance at it, and you get hit with this alarm bell that goes off, that it's going to make other people's alarm bells go off. You know, that's not a bad thing, but it can become one if it's misinterpreted. Okay, prime example, case in point, would be most of my sculptures, because I try to be as I've said before, as cynical and satirical as I can. Like, every single one of them is riddled with metaphors and symbolism, and most of it is dark metaphors and dark symbolism, because I'm trying to show. A lot of people try and say the beauty, they try and show you the beauty of ugliness through art, because that's the guise that they use to hide the ugliness. I try to show the ugliness of beauty. Okay, not necessarily beauty to you and I, but to how they have shown what they perceive to be beauty to the untrained eye. Okay, so I digress. Don't worry about what people are how they're gonna take it. As I always say, you cannot, nor should you try, to control what people do, say, think, or feel. It's just not going to happen. And that's a good thing, because it means it's not going to happen when they try it with you, either. Neither. Okay? But I'd imagine a lot of my sculptures will make people think, is he a shill? They might think, you know, that maybe my hope, my faith, my belief is in the wrong place. I don't know. Hopefully not. I know where I am, and I know who I am, and I know what I am. I certainly know why I do, say, think and feel what I do, because I can see it in my artwork, you see. But it doesn't mean everyone will. Alright? So yeah, just keep that in mind, you know, because it's all about what your agenda is behind it. We've gone through this before with all the coding that these cunts use towards each other. It doesn't mean, don't let them take that away from you, you know, whether that be a number or a colour or a pattern, you know. I mean, I'll give you an example, the amount of demonic deities that I've sculpted. Why am I sculpting them? What, to make a sanctuary and pray to them, or to pay homage? No, of course not. It's my depiction of what I've seen around me. Do you understand? Doesn't mean you agree with it, does it? Art needs to be kept to a certain... It has to be kept to a certain version of subjectiveness and objectiveness. Otherwise, every single medium of art ever invented has to be in total agreement and in total alignment with its creator. You know? So if you write a song about the evils of the world, well, you wrote that song, so you must agree with the evils of the world. See, it's just not how it works, is it? Same with a poem. Maybe you'll write a poem about, I don't know, what, child abuse? And how to cope with it, and how that makes one feel. Does that mean you agree with it? Well, you wrote it, so why would you write it if you didn't agree with it? It's just not how art works, is it? Do you understand? You know? Make a violent film, well, you obviously agree with violence, or you know what I mean? No. So yeah, my artwork is extremely dark. I don't mean it to be, I don't choose it to be. But it's what I see. And to be honest, I would make more positive, optimistic art that's portraying and displaying goodness rather than evil. But to me, true goodness is art in itself. You can't, the creator creates goodness, and he created us, which means we're capable of being good, showing good, feeling good, giving good. That's how you create art through goodness, goodness through art. Understand? And that is why most art is so dark. But it doesn't have to be. Okay? So yeah, just a few more tools for the toolbox that I've learned since the last part 1, 2 and 3 of Let Your Art Sculpt You. I believe that to be all of them for now. The only other thing that I'd say is left to mention is the concept that, as I just mentioned, we are works of art ourselves, okay, because we were made in the creator's image. That makes us a work of art, okay. The only problem is people want to paint over that canvas themselves, okay. You don't need to paint over it when you can add more to it. What do I always tell you all, brothers and sisters? The creator, let's start the other way. The destroyer divides and takes away, and the creator adds and multiplies. One more time. The divider takes away and divides. And the creator scars, for example. So, I'll use myself for an example. I have a scar of a number 1 on my hand. It's actually right over my pulse, but I doubt you can probably see it. I always thought it was strange that it's over the pulse, you know, because we only have one pulse. We have to keep it going the same way we have to keep living. We have to keep our hearts pure and light. It's the only way to remain and retain your goodness. What we were put here to do. And to make sure others don't. I have a J on my thumb. I have a circular scar next to a mole on my forehead. It looks like an eclipse. Yeah, your body is a temple. You know, it's so important to keep it clean. He says as he drinks a can of ale, but as I've said to you, I've quit drinking along with anything and everything else. Sometimes you should do something slightly bad to stop yourself doing something a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? Because we are human, therefore we are sinners. But it's no excuse. So don't excuse it. Then again, sunshine, fresh air. My late father's birthday, so here's to you, Dad. He was an artist too.